wholeness and balanced vibrations. So as I'm driving along today in my car, beginning my errands for the day and getting my list of things done and staying in this now so that I can get the most done by my state of being, I thought I'd tell you all about how to nurture yourself before the day begins, how to fill your own cup in that space of tranquility. And my day begins very much at the time of between 4 and 5 in the morning. However, I do wake up about half an hour earlier at around 3:30 in the morning. And this is my time. This is me time. This is my self-nurturing, filling of my cup time. And it's such an important time for me because without this time, I feel I'm not in that aligned state of being to navigate my way through the day. And so, after a bit of breath work, a few mantras, and these mantras are very simple mantras. My world is looking after me. All is well in my world. Because my inner world knows me better than my outer world. My inner self, my soul self, knows me a whole lot better than my egoic body consciousness or mind consciousness. And knowing that my world takes care of me, regardless of whatever circumstances are there, comes to become a belief of inner knowingness, of inner gnosis, that repeated often enough as I'm waking up, manifests into my reality as beautiful synchronicities. And you can simply state this either in your mind, in your inner verse, or out loud into the universe. But say it with a sense of inner belief. My world is looking after me. All is well in my world, in my universe. Because your world really does know how to look after you. Better than you do. Believe me. And so that when you get up and you look at your face in the mirror, the image that you're portraying in that mirror will be different. And so the reflection playing back to you will also be different. So I started thinking about diamonds this morning and how diamonds are formed under tremendous pressure, heat, force, under the ground, without any light. Can you make your personal reality like a diamond? Can you look through the lens of your eyes as if they were diamonds? Solid, clear, clarity, whole, with an inner strength, because diamonds are formed by an inner strength as an inside-out strength rather than an outside-in strength. And they're grounded. They come from the earth. So your inner spirituality, once firmly grounded through the work that you do before the rest of the world is getting up, allows you to blossom from the inside out like a flower. Allows you to blossom like a butterfly coming out of the cocoon. or a diamond coming out of the earth with an inner strength, an inner self-responsibility of the all is self, because everything that is reflected back to you in your reality is a fractal aspect of you, of the infinite multidimensional levels of who you are. So the rooting of your consciousness, first thing, determines how you will behave outwardly and how things will then be reflected back to you outwardly, to your inner self. And then you then respond to those. Just like the ball throwing experiment I spoke about in my last YouTube. Can you respond like a diamond in each situation? Because that diamond is your soul consciousness, is your higher self, is your beingness, is your dot in the middle of that circle. Centripetal and centrifugal forces will always be happening, in, out, in, out, in, out. How are you choosing to stay centered and balance that force as a detached observer? That things are happening not to me, but through me, and I'm simply watching a film. Because if you get too attached to the outer two circles of having and doing, you're simply massaging your ego. Ego of the mind or ego of the body. And even though these are important egos, they're not your truth. They're not your beingness. They're vehicles. But they're not eternal. But your soul self, your Atma, your soul light, your soul consciousness is eternal. It is whole. It is balanced. So often my meditations begin with the who am I being in this moment in the morning. Who am I? Who's experiencing this? Who's experiencing cold weather at 3 o'clock in the morning in London? Is it me? The soul isn't. The body may be. I'm not this body. I am a soul, experiencing things through the body structure. And so through deeper and deeper meditation, I learn to observe my reality, step back, almost like a tortoise taking its little head into its shell, where I can move away from the thoughts and the feelings of what's coming up, so that then through my mind I'm not feeding the pendulum or giving away excess potential to one polarity or another. And I'm able to stay in that neutrality of the heart. Everything is empty and meaningless until you give it meaning. And when I know with an inner knowingness that I'm there, it's just a feeling that you have, a feeling of balance. You will know. It's at that point I can say, oh, it's time to pack up now, and put a full stop at the end of my sentence. That packing up is the letting go. It's the allowing from a state of being. And from that state, I go further into my own discernment. And I ask myself, am I aware? Am I awake? Am I aware? Am I awake? And this allows me the ability to be discerning in that moment, not attached to any external influences, but just being totally aware. And connecting to the breath, from that moment, you can start to take an actionable. From that state of purity, from that state of alignment. But take the actionable from a state of what is exciting for you in that moment. You may want to dance. You may want to go for a walk. You may want to write in your journal. You may want to go and have a lovely shower. You may want to make yourself a cup of tea or coffee. Whatever you are doing, do it from the space of your highest excitement, because this raises your vibrational frequency. And you see how you then start to navigate your way through the day, because you've already started to fill your own inner cup. And filling your own inner cup gives you the power to face an inner strength, like the diamond, to face whatever is going to come up in your reality. And not attach too much meaning to it. Everything is empty and neutral until I give it a meaning. I am responsible for the choice I make in my life. What is the meaning of the advantage meaning I can give this situation right now? What story am I telling myself right now in this situation? Own it. Be responsible. And this makes you able to accept situations that come up. Because you're just being. And you're free. You're free to choose. One thing that helped me in my life is the knowing that nothing is mine. Nothing. If this body itself is not mine, what have I got to lose if no thing is mine? And in that space of nothing is mine, you can be one with everything. This is unconditional love. This is inner security. This is inner strength. And from that point, when you go into your relationships, with family, at work, whatever, you can start to cooperate within those relationships from a space of compassion, as the detached observer who is being. He's still doing and having, but he's coming from a space of being. And so you're building these bridges of compassion, and you're communicating those into your outer reality. You're no longer seeking validation or being a people pleaser from a space of scarcity or lack. Because you've realized everything is yours. Because nothing is mine. And people seeking external validation through the egoic structure are those people who are thirsty within, because they haven't taken the time out in their day to fill their cup. And when you've filled your cup, you are full from within. But full of that light, full of that love, full of that nurture, full of that wholeness. And that's when you start accepting yourself, because you've acknowledged who you are as a soul being. And you can be more loving to yourself. Simple questions like, what would love do in this situation right now that's coming up? Or what would my soul consciousness do for me right now in whatever is coming up? And this brings that crystal clear clarity to you, like the diamond. And in that crystal clear clarity, you can be radically authentic in all your relationships going forward. Because you're crisper. You're being more responsible. You're being more authentic. You're being clear. You're setting your distinctions up for the day. You're owning it. You're leveling up. And so can you bring that soul conscious awareness from an inner radiation outwards as a soul energy? One practice I did years ago, so some of the Jane teachings that I had, was as I left the house in the morning to do my daily errands, anybody I met on the street, any insect, animal, human, anyone, any living being, I acknowledged them as a pure soul. Inwardly, I didn't have to say anything. It was just like, I acknowledge your pure soul. I acknowledge your soul light. And it was a practice that brought me into this state of being now. I was advised to do it for 20 minutes a day, every morning. In Jainism, they call it Sud Atma, pure soul. Acknowledging everything that is coming towards you as you go about your day as a Sud Atma, a pure soul. And that's really having the ability to see others as yourself once you've filled your own cup, as soul beings, rather than this whole external concept of reality that we've been so programmed into following. So I ask you to simply stop, disengage, create that silent space for you. Give yourself time before your day begins. Fill your cup. Nourish yourself. Set your foundations first thing. Because when your foundations are grounded, when they're whole, it's only wholeness that you will receive. But you're not receiving from a space of having an attachment to it. No. You are receiving it from a space of an inner being. An inner beingness. A state of observation. And if you are feeling triggered, I'd like to take you through a very quick, instant 5-minute meditation right now that you can do like this, like I am in the car, and all you have to do is stop for those 5 minutes to bring yourself back into alignment. So take a breath and relax and close your eyes right now. Close your eyes so that you can just stop looking outwards into the outer reality. If you're happy to keep your eyes open, you can keep your eyes open. Or you can just lower your gaze and focus on your heart. Just put all of your attention onto your heart and ask yourself, who am I? Who am I beyond these roles, these masks? Who am I beyond these labels? Who am I seeing now as my reflection beyond this image? Beyond the reflection in the mirror. And keep concentrating on your breath and bring your attention to the center of your forehead. And imagine a starlight there in the middle of your forehead, radiating outwards like a powerful sunlight. This is the seat of your soul, radiating light in all directions, in stillness, in tranquility. It's everlasting, it is eternal, and it is you as the eternal being of love and light. And this light has always been with you, and it always will be with you. It is infinite, and you can always connect to it. And simply say to yourself, today I choose to be awake and aware of my soul light, of eternal freedom. My world is looking after me. All is well in my world. Breathe into this light. Breathe out from this light. Be here, right now. And know that you can always return to this state of being and this point of light as your truth, as your state of being. Because circumstances do not matter. It is your state of being that can shift your circumstances. So take the responsibility. All is well in my world. And when you're ready, you can just gently flutter your eyelids open. And then move into your world, navigate into your life from this state of being. knowing that you have a choice to choose your highest excitement. Wholeness and balanced vibrations.